Yes, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so this is Lego Batman All Hostages, and what you can kind of guess from the name or the name of the category is we are freeing all of the hostages in all of the levels. Now, there are a few exceptions to that, namely the vehicle levels, which don't have hostages in them. So there you can see I just freed a hostage. It said 1 of 25. And there are 30 levels in this game, but there are 5 vehicle levels, so that's how you get 25. And in this chapter, there's not really any skips, so you'll just see me going through this normally.
Guys,
With me on
hi guys.
commentary, I
So
have
for the
Lost
first level,
Speedrunning. Lost, if you want to say
Prince
hi.
just
Hi guys,
and now
so
he's
for the first
completing the
level,
rest level. Prince just and now he's completing the rest level. So just go straight to the end. Much more in this level. After completing this level, he's free to in almost any order. Can switch between chapters, he can switch between hero story and villain story. And this makes for an interesting routing, as you can see, pretty soon.
Actually, fun fact, you can skip doing this first level right away. You just have to exit out of it. But,
Yeah, but
it's just
you're already
faster
in
to...
it, so
Yeah, it's just faster to do it right away.
as you can see, right now Batman has the demolition suit, also called bomb suit. This allows him to blow up any shining, sparkling objects like metal, while tech suit, which allows him to control vehicles and also some turtles. And for the hero story, you have to change the suit, puzzles with them.
So at the end of the first chapter of the first episode, you have to go through all of this post-chapter stuff. So I got the red bricks. So you'll see how many studs I collected, what percentage of superhero I got, what suits I collected, all of this. And it's literally only for level 1 of chapter or of level blah, 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 chapter 1 of episode 1. Even if you quit out of this level early, go do say 2-1, it won't show you that at 2-1. If you go back to 1-1 after you complete any other level, you'll still have to watch this. Oh, I am doing a safety save because there's a huge glitch that can end the run if you're not saving. And I'll get to that when I can. Now we move on to episode 3. Just because we want to go get the fast build red brick as soon as we can, and that's located in episode 6, chapter 1. Now you can't do episode 6 until you do episode 3. And same is true with 2 and 5 and 1 and 4.
In this level, you see a small skip right at the start over the gate, and he didn't break it open. And Prince is going to collect the glide suit that lets him skip room, and he's doing that by extended glide, which you see pretty soon. I think it's roughly 3 button presses per 2 seconds. It's like the rhythm, you have to keep going. See this popping up and down animation allows Batman to get a lot more distance than he would normally do. than you normally would have. Also, if you land on the top part here, the enemies won't follow you. So it saves a little bit of time as well.
All right, here I'm going to be doing a death abuse where I'm going to kill myself by falling in the toxic waste and use the iframes to start building this gear wall. All right, that was a good 2-death build. We'll see if I get that lucky on this right side.
Prince went intentionally at the corner there to reset his starting position every time dies with the enemies. Just like optimization allows you to do this rune a little bit quicker.
Now, there's 2 ways to do this room. You can go with the all Batman route or you can go with the all Robin route. Personally, I like the all Batman route, but I think the all Robin route is slightly faster.
It's also really hard. In my opinion, it's harder than the all Batman route, just because of the bridge. Yeah, I think it's the only level that you can complete either only with Robin or only with Batman.
And here I'm skipping the magnetic suit, so I don't have to worry about collecting that. Now this is a pretty precise extended glide. And Loss, you can talk about it while I do it.
Okay, so jump up on this machinery there, and he's doing the extended glide to get up to the turns, spin wheel there. Can barely make it, and if he gets it, he skips building the bridge that he extended the glide prior. Also, he skips the magnetic Robin collection of Robin from the magnetic suit, and then wall jump up, but the jump over to this side with Robin is really precise. So it's this extended glide. Almost got it.
Like I said, this is a really tight extended glide. There we
You have
go.
to press the button like 3 times per 2 seconds, and you have to turn around and you have to cut the corner really well. Trick. And you don't turn the wheel all the way, you only turn it that much that you can fit through.
On this boss fight, I'm going to be skipping a little bit. You're supposed to go over on the right side and step on 2 red buttons with both of the characters. But instead, I'm just going to extended glide up to Mad Hatter and push him down into the toxic waste. So that kind of skips a step. Now I'm going to go up on the elevator again and step on the red button this time. I can't go over and push him down. He's like locked in place right now. Now if you notice, I didn't collect a hostage in this level, and that's because you can't. You have to get the Joker before you can collect the hostage.
This game you can choose between like 2 play modes. You can play story mode, where you only have are intended to be played in this level. And the second mode is the free play mode, where you can use characters you have already unlocked, and some minikits, red bricks, and hostages are locked behind some doors or only get access to if you have a certain character. Set for 3-1, you need the Joker, where the hostage is.
Alright, time for one of the worst skips in this entire game. It's known as the candy cane jump.
It saves really a lot of time. Quick, because otherwise you have to get the Sonic suit for Batman, suit for Robin, and also Prince collected here or freed the hostage. It's right in the way, so he doesn't have to go out of his way. It's an easy hostage, quick one. First perform the candy cane jump, so you can wall jump out of bounds, and you should be seeing the candy cane where you can double jump or jump kick onto it. Does it correctly, he slides up to the upper floor and his skull bursts right. Nice. That's a really hard trick.
With each fail, you lose about 30 seconds too, so it's a very risky jump.
It saves so much time, so it's worth practicing and get good at.
And soon we'll be heading into the worst boss fight of this entire game. At least in my opinion. And that's because it's super long.
So this fight against Harlequin, in her first phase jumps sorting back 10 times. Then you can hit her. You can always hit her twice. She spawns in. Her second phase after you killed all the enemies, where she somersaults 10 times again, jumps, and somersaults again 10 times, then you can hit her. So it makes 40 somersaults in the second phase with enemies. After that comes the phase 3, where she somersaults 10 times, jumps over the circle, somersaults 10 times, jumps over the circle, and then somersaults again 10 times. So it's 60 somersaults correctly. There isn't a lot to this boss fight.
The only hard part about it is remembering which time she'll stop and act dizzy. Sometimes you think, oh, she's gone around twice already. Time to hit her. Nope, it's been only once.
And it's 3-2. The next level is the vehicle level. It's the first vehicle level of this run. It's with the... And it's the only vehicle level with a skip in it.
The skip might not be obvious to everyone, but it'll be skipping a very long cutscene as well as things to do afterwards. So you can see Scarecrow flying in the background. You're supposed to go attack him, but he'll fly away. And in his wake, he'll leave flaming barrels that you have to throw a bomb at. Instead, we're just going to go around him and just go over the barrels that he was going to blow up, or the pipeline he was going to blow up. It's possible that the game audio is broken. It's very common for this to happen. Craiglebagel sees it a lot more often than I do. But I think eventually it'll fix itself.
Here is the boss fight of this week level, so you have to hold Scarecrow in place with Robin and shoot him with Batman. And don't correct, it's a really quick one.
Here's a small skip. I'm supposed to build a handrail to get up to that platform, but instead I just use the stairs to jump on top of it. I'm also trying to skip an animation here, or a little cutscene where Mothman would run into the bar, or the arcade, whatever it's considered. And I need to grab the bomb suit first, so that's why I'm building this fan, and then I'm going to be pulling a lever here. I'm also going to skip another section here by jumping on this support beam and then up to the ladder. Come on, there we go.
You could skip collecting the bomb suit to get into the room, but we absolutely need the bomb suit for the next room. So, a bit unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
I also
Instead,
just... Go ahead.
he jumped on the arcade machine to get on top bar and over to the pool, and he stand on the like small part where you can stand on, and he skipped like building get up and also a rope to swing across. He doesn't look like much, but skips a good amount building stuff and switching between characters.
I'd say roughly it saves 20 seconds.
And here, Prince is doing a one-person to controller thread, so he's using both controllers. And it's really hard to do that well. It takes a lot of time, but now he character, because he has like a disco mini game here where he has to stand on the white panels. The AI will follow, and sure to just let the AI take over than to manual control of characters. And for some reason, sometimes you can walk during this cutscene to the room where you should exit. And also you can just walk through the wall. You don't have to control the roboter. And there's the third hostage.
I believe this is the first time we abuse the wall jumping mechanic.
Candy can't jump. You already
Oh.
did it.
Second time we abused the candy or the wall jump mechanic.
This fight against Mothman, who built these generators, and you need them to light up light bulb, and Mothman will get attracted to the light.
Oh boy.
And while Prince is waiting for the electricity to go to the light bulb, he uses the second the block on the right side of Robin. They start building with Batman in the middle. With Robin as soon as he gets electricity.
I think
Prince go on.
I was gonna say I think I need 150 studs to buy Hush at the end, which we didn't mention. You need to buy Hush to actually complete the run, because Hush is unlocked after you unlock all the 25 hostages.
So every time Prince is waiting for like the electricity to go to light bulb, he attacked his surroundings and collected some studs. Hostage. By jumping onto the fence from the plant and up to the turn thing, it spins and it activates the boss fight of Harlequin, or the mini boss fight. You can now permanently kill those enemies. Respawn all the time. Also, he's doing one player to controller, controlling the guns so they can shoot at Harlequin, while the other controller he built the suit swapper so he can get the bomb suit. Building something, the fan with Robin, he goes closer to the place where he actually needs the bomb suit. A magnetic suit for Robin.
Alright, there's gonna be a pretty big skip here. Instead of moving the chandelier over, Batman getting his flight suit and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, I'm just gonna do an out of bounds up here and go straight to the door.
Wall jumping can clip out of bounds. And he can jump into the transition zone. With Robin, it's every time you go to a transition zone with one character, the other character will always at the new room. So if you can complete a room with only one character, it's worth going for it. You don't have to solve every puzzle. And here is a random new skip. You can, with a precise double jump, the statue and get on top.
I think. There we go.
And this skips getting the flight suit and pushing the statue and building handrails. It's like 1 or 2 weeks old, so we actively search for skips in this game.
Well, I messed up there.
While Prince is waiting, he's collecting some stats, because as mentioned, you need to buy Hush, and we buy also Fast Build and Fast Gravel in this route, because it makes everything a little bit faster. It's quite easy. You hit him a couple of times, jumps to the right, or you can hit him on the right a couple of times, jumps to the left. Attack him on the left, he gives you his electrifying handshake, and you have to second player. You can hit him a couple more times. That's chapter 3 completed. We collected all hostages in this chapter, but not the one in 3-1, because as you mentioned earlier, we need the Joker to get to this hostage.
And speaking of the Joker, we'll be getting him in this next level. But we won't be going back to 3-1 for a little bit yet. First, we need to do episode 6 and get the fast build red brick.
It's a really convenient place. You don't have to go out of your way really much. It's 3 seconds to grab it, so it's really handy. And the first room here is you have to play like a mini game with Joker and Harlequin. You move one player and then you can move player and it goes back and forth. And the goal is to get Harlequin to the exit. And there is another out of bounds. 4. Harlequin is a great character because she is a high jump character and she can wall jump, and interesting strats and tricks. And Prince jumped in the van out of bounds there and drives out of bounds around into the building, and we can free the hostage. And next up is, I think, the first drop-in warp in this category. So if you're far away from the second player, you can mash or press a button on the second controller. hit the second player, and in some situations they drop in right next to you. Here.
Alright, so here you're supposed to break all 4 of these containers and build 2 sets of handrails. I'm only going to build the one because Joker will actually follow me after I do that. And here I'm grabbing the red brick. Oh, and not forgetting to pull the lever. And hopefully getting a little bit of a boost here from the roller coaster and through the transition.
And we can also see here, Joker's a great character to have because of his attacks. He has a ranged attack that kills enemies in 1 hit. It's always nice. So you can clear waves enemies really quick. You can also shoot or attack really fast with his 2 guns. And this is, if I remember correctly, the only real boss fight story. Or for Batman or the hero story, you have to fight against at the end of every level. Win level, you only have this one fight, and the 2 vehicle levels where you have the boss fight. And the other levels are determined to be ended by building something, getting to a certain place, stuff like that. And also for the boss fight, it's important that you hit way so you don't spam. You have to do it in a certain rhythm. You attack him, wait a little bit, and attack him again. If you just spam it, you keep him in his iframes, in his invincibility frames. It's also the case if the AI, the second player, will attack him, attack, and he's never getting hit because it's always in his iframes. That you can do this couple of strats. You can either drop in your second player and just look that your second player is far away of the boss, or you can switch between characters now and then and move him a little bit to the other side. And also movement, you can do it, but the AI hitting the boss.
Okay. That bomb took longer to hit than I thought it would.
And second flight level, much going on here. You have to destroy walls and fly through them, or the missiles. The thing you have to remember in this level is where the missiles and where the bombs are. What objective you have to do next.
Now, I will preface this boss fight by saying it can soft lock in multiple different ways, most of which I don't know how to prevent.
Also, it's really finicky to control these bombs around to hit, or you can just tie them up behind you. An auto aim, which sometimes helps, and sometimes the bomb will go straight in front of the thing it should hit and hit them. So I think it's a little bit of luck involved if the bomb hits or not.
And luckily I did not get the soft lock here. One soft lock is the boss becomes invincible after you blow up both of the turrets. The other is the boss will continually fire rockets at the turrets and not blow them up. Or they will be blown up and he's still firing at them. So, thankfully we didn't get either one. And if you noticed, I did not continue story. I went to Arkham Asylum, and that's so I can buy fast build and fast grapple. I'm gonna need to collect a few studs before I do that.
Okay, there are studs in this room, and re-enter this room. They will be reloaded, so out of level. It's really handy.
I only need 170 more, I think. Or 1,170. It's not a whole lot. And it really helps if you can get a combination attack and then collect a few studs. There we go. Now I don't have to apply the fast grapple. That'll be automatic once I go into the Batcave. But I have to put on the fast build by myself.
Now Princess continue with the story here, so he goes to 6-3. Finish this story or this couple levels as quick as possible. And I think you see fast build pretty soon and see how much faster it actually is. You skip puzzle here by jumping onto this pillar statues.
Ah, I'm doing this wrong.
And you can skip or you can go to the handrail. It's both character on top need Scarecrow because you can only access with a mind control character. That you have the Joker because of his electric hand pass that you saw also in the roller coaster level. Door, which needs a mind controller. A couple of them, Mad Hatter is one. It's also one, and Scarecrow. It's those doors. He needs one of those characters to, like I said, in the next room you will see that Joker is also needed. Here you can also see why the attack of Joker is so good.
I don't need to do that lever all the way, but once the glass is past the first crack, I'll be able to get past.
Also by jumping onto the little platform there, used there. They don't know where to stand because Joker's standing in their position, moving.
Also going to do another skip here where I push that pedestal forward, do a slide onto it, and then I'm able to jump up here. This way we don't need our second character. And now I just go through the door. In this room I have to break these 3 paintings before a little cutscene appears where I can pull a lever. And I'm also skipping a few things here by jumping on top of the statue and then jumping around that corner. I don't even know how much time that saves. It's been so long since I've done it normally. I don't even know if I've done it normally.
I've done normally once. Saves like 20 seconds.
Ah. I'm gonna try a new skip here that someone recently found. I don't remember who it was.
That was me.
Oh, you? Come on.
If the gate closes inside the hitbox and you can you can skip a little bit of building stuff.
Alright,
You get stuck there, so you have to.
Yeah, I got stuck, so I'm just gonna do this normally. Don't try new things in marathons, kids.
Here is also a skip if you jump on the handrail and jump off it right away. You don't get hit by the toxic
Is this a
waste.
good time for a donation?
Also, a side note. Oh, go ahead, Toffee.
So we just got $10 from the
It
real
is.
Shorts Boy with the message, "Hey guys, Shorts Boy here. You're killing this run trip. Proud of you, bro. Save the hostages and kill the animals." Which I don't know where that's coming from. We do not have an incentive for that, but it looks like he donated it towards the Bionicle any% save warp run. We're a third of the way there, so if we can get to see that, that'd be really amazing. I know that was a huge thing for the Bionicle speedrunning community recently, so I'd like to see it.
Ironically, I'm wearing my Save the Animals t-shirt. That wasn't even planned. Alright, pretty big skip here. It involves an extended flight with Mothman. Mothman, by the way, is one of the worst to do extended flights with, just because you don't really have a visual cue for when you should be pressing your buttons. But I'm able to make that work just fine. We also don't get the hostage here because we need a high jumper in order to get them. And in the last room, or the last chapter we were in, we needed Batman's heat suit in order to get it. Although Waylon did find a way to skip that, but I don't know if anyone's been able to replicate it.
In this next room, the hitbox for the handrail extend a little bit to the other side, so you can grab it from outside the fence and get like what inside the fence, and you can fly around the toxic waste or fire. Don't remember what it was. Fly over it, and also here we can see or sometimes suggestion, and you can walk straight through the corner into the loading zone.
I don't even know what to call this machine, but let's call it the Joker Mobile for a second. There's optimal movement with it and there's super unoptimal movement with it. Basically, if your right foot is moving forward, you want to try moving that towards the center of where you're walking towards. So instead of just walking straight, I'm kind of moving the joystick back and forth, kind of like a wobbling pattern, and that'll actually make me walk faster. But if I'm off on the pattern of footsteps, I could actually walk slower than normal too. And you'll see that again in 4.4, where I'll have a robot that can walk faster or slower depending on how you wobble. Alright, here's a unique kind of level for the all hostages category. Since this is the last chapter of an episode in the villain category, all I need to do is collect the hostage and get out of there. So once I get into this next room, hopefully I'll get a rare occurrence of the hostage capture person dying by himself. And it happens because he tries to grab the hostage instead of, well, I didn't get it here, but he tries grabbing the hostage, but instead of grabbing, he attacks the hostage, and they both fall down, and it ends up killing himself. So I'm gonna stand over here and hopefully hit the hostage person. Alright, since
in the room prior, he did jumped on the railing and was able to jump around the pillar, get the ladder for the Joker.
So I didn't get lucky there with the hostage taker falling down, and I also didn't get lucky with the guy being in a good spot. The hostage was in the way for me to shoot him. So I'd go all the way around, or unlocking the elevator and just going the long way. Now here, while I'm pulling that lever, I definitely don't want to hold left. If I hold left while pulling the lever, I will soft lock this category. And the only way to get rid of it is by completely exiting out of the game, like going back to the home screen and going back into the game. Because if you try, or if you hold left while pulling the lever, you'll whoa, that was weird. You'll activate the computer while you're going into the Batcave. And it can't handle that. So while you're in the Batcave, then it thinks the computer is still active, like you haven't exited out of it. And so it will never let you back in. Even if you just quit out of that game, or like quit out of that file, go to a different one, it'll be locked up on that file too. And so if you're not saving, which by the way is faster for this, you just can't complete that category.
Now we're back at the hero mission. Get 1-2. Doing one player to controller strat here. Uses both controllers to activate the levers there. Each lever twice to turn the screen to the corresponding on the right side. Is performing another skip, so kills those enemies and builds the gear, and with the precise extended glide mount those ice, gas, winds, and drop in warp, he can get Robin all the way without him doing any additional puzzles. Those 2 precise jumps, he was able to skip another puzzle. this level, it's skipping a lot of stuff. And same here. You have like a couple pixels beneath you where you can still jump, and knowing where it is and how to jump correctly, your double jump or your jump kick stuff, you can make really high gaps, or yeah, you can go across high gaps. And also, the prince is destroying everything on the other side. If you're doing a jump attack that can be destroyed, Robin will aim at it and it makes it just a lot easier to skip if there's nothing that can be destroyed anymore on the other side. It's a really clean open. Prince dropped in his second player, so him and put him in the iframes. And also you try to avoid getting frozen because it's really slow to throw out and lose like 5 seconds, something like that.
Well, shoot.
And Prince is performing those 1 player 2 controllers while he plays with his mouth, so it's really impressive to see. Really good at it. So if you have never seen it, you should definitely check it out once you get time.
Alright, it just ate my jump input there.
Right now he's using 1 character to build stuff, build the cards, attack the enemies so the other character can move freely and doesn't have to handle any enemies. We're on to the last phase. And here we didn't collect the hostage. What we're doing free play.
Yeah, we have to wait until we get a mind control character to be able to get that hostage. And we can use Scarecrow to do it, but we just have to go back and free play, like Lost said.
And here's vehicle level we see trucks that you have to hunt down, shoot them a couple times, and then you can pull them behind you and you have to drive them into the, not much more to it. They always go the same way. Just movement optimization.
If you move that truck too quickly, you can actually get there before the light does, and you'll actually have to go back and go to the light again in order to get that truck out of here.
Yeah, you can be too fast.
I think Waylon did that in his hero story run.
Happened to me before as well. And here is the boss fight with this vehicle level. It's against Two-Face, it's trucks, or just shoot him. Or lock him at this side of the level. Get him into the bad signal 3 times. Can stun him right after he gets away from the bad signal. It's a really quick boss fight. And in this level there is no hostage. Prince said it already, no of the vehicle levels or any hostages.
Well, this level has a very, very easy hostage to get, so I'll definitely be collecting that in story rather than free play. That truck's a little wonky, you can just drive up the wall there.
And you're trying to position the truck. It blocks you from enemies. And I think that's the first time we see the Sonic suit. It can break open the glasses. You see the glass, it's like blue, sparkling, shining. Here's the hostage. You have to break the glass in front of you. You can clip a little bit into the glass and break water containers or whatever they are. Yeah, through the glass wall. Attraction suit for Robin. Time we see it in this run. If you have attraction suit, you can suck in red, green, and yellow bricks to build stuff. And we know exactly which objects we have to break to get to the optimal amount of red, green, and yellow bricks.
So for this first area, I'm going to collect 27. I need 25, but I'm going to need another 25 later on, and collecting 2 extra here before I put the pieces in is not very difficult to do at all. I'm also going to be collecting 3 more here right after I put the pieces in and wait for this bomb to be built. I know there's exactly... Whoop, I only have 4. There we go. I know exactly where 20 are later in this, in the room after this one I'm in. So, it's very easy to collect them. Now, it's important that I collect this heat suit here because, one, it's the only place in this entire game where you can get the heat suit outside of the Batcave. And we will be needing the heat suit later to get a hostage. So the first set of... I was going to say Go ahead, Loss.
You don't have to collect the heat suit in order to finish this level, so you can make the jump over to the other side without the heat suit, but it's important to have the heat suit because one hostage is locked behind some flames, so you have to have. Make it for good luck. Also in this room, you only have to flower in the middle, jump across the toxic waste.
Yeah, there are 3 flowers there for the casual players, but speedrunners like myself and Lost, we only do the middle one.
This boss fight is you build a bomb and it explodes in front of the piranha plant. It comes out and you hit her a couple times and she jumps into another. And the piranha plant will start spawning in enemies and you kill a certain amount of the enemies and they drop the bomb. The second piranha plant, you hit poisonous ivy a few times. Last piranha plant and piranha plant starts spawning enemies and kill until the bomb, and after that fight poisonous ivy. And now you can fight her. I think it's the boss fight with the lowest amount of health in the mini Harlequin fight you do at 3-5.
Nothing much going on right now other than breaking and building. We can't get past this gate unless we're in free play. Or if we do it casually. So now I have to go get the flight suit. I'll destroy the pieces to get it with the van, because it's faster than getting out and attacking. So we'll see that here. You can see the red, orange, and yellow coming out of the pieces, and that tells you, hey, there's a suit changer here. I'm going to use Robin and go across this bridge. I know it's not built yet, but I can still kind of get around it. Now, we don't actually need this van to get across and through this gate, but if we want to do a faster skip, we're going to use that van to get a smaller van and go around this gate, or this fence. Oh, I hit a death plane there. Took an intentional death there, so I respawned in the vehicle. We're gonna use it to go mountain climbing and pull the lever. That way we can skip getting Robin's magnetic suit. And now we go get the hostage. Take an intentional death there because I missed the fence again. The fences are very thin. Now I gotta get Robin up here so I can pull both of these levers at the same time. This is one instance in which you actually have to use your other character in order to pull the levers. There is also a way to soft lock this elevator where you'll pull the levers but the elevator won't go up. We're also skipping Robin's suction suit here. I just extended flying over that. We don't need to build any extra platforms here, but you have time to build one before before that cutscene activates, and it's much easier if you do build one. And if it weren't for that glide to get to the second lever, we wouldn't need Batman's flight suit at all. Now, we don't need to press these buttons in any certain order. It's just that's the fastest way to do it. And if you're running low on health, you can actually die right before you go through the door because you have to wait for the vault to open. Right here, I'm just waiting for that to blow up so I can build something. Now I gotta fight both Riddler and Two-Face yet.
It's using again the one player two controller threads here. Don't attack Riddler or Two-Face with the AI. So he can kill those with enemy a little bit faster. Mash the attack button, they auto aim at the enemy. Always 2 hits at Two-Face. Control mode. On down, you can hit him once, and 2 quick hits on Two-Face and Riddler comes down again.
And just in case anyone was wondering if this is world record pace, it's not. I'm 4 minutes 2 seconds behind my PB pace. Alright, so now we go into episode 1, chapter 2 in free play to get that hostage that we needed mind control for. And then we'll go to episode 3, finish that one up, get all the hostages, and then we'll move on to episode 2.
This is the first time you see free play, so he selects one player or one character, and he gets that you need to complete this level. You always get Joker, you always get the character with bombs, you always get her, and I think mind control, and woman you get as well.
Now, in case you were wondering, I exited without saving there, and that's because even though you're not saving, it still saves your hostage progress. It's just one little weird thing about this game. I'm going out of bounds here to save a couple minutes.
So that Robin can wall jump as well, and Robin route will start with, if you're doing the only Robin route, the Robin only route in story mode, you would wall jump out of bounds there immediately. And you may remember that we had to collect the glide suit faster than collecting the glide suit.
Now here I don't need to do any death abuse because I have the Joker who is immune to toxicity. It also makes fast work of these, or Joker makes fast work of these goons here. Even though they're his goons, he just blows right through them. Also a slightly different route than what I did with Batman before. So now if I had Mr. Freeze, I could have done a freeze fly to get up to the hostage, but it's almost just as fast to do it this way.
That's the 10th hostage. Now we have every hostage from the 3rd chapter. We won't go back to the 3rd chapter.
This is actually one of my favorite levels. All the Catwoman levels are my favorite, but this is the hero version of it. And you normally start off as Batman here, but while it's in the transition screen there, I switch to Robin. So I can do this and skip getting the magnetic suit. And I also skip building a zip line. All of these skips are part of the reason why I like this level. Because you'll see quite a few of them here. Like this room, I'll do entirely with Batman. So getting up here, you're supposed to get up here in free play. But with Batman and his extended glide, you can easily get over here. And here, we're going to activate that cutscene. Oh, that's not good. I ended up all the way over here. Alright, so slight backup strat to what I was planning on doing. I have to build that zip line, get over here. And I'm going to go for the ladder. Nailed it.
You want to die because you respawn earlier and can go back onto the water tank and fly all the way over to here.
I'm going to do another death abuse here where I'm going to stand only on this railing of the building and then die, and I'll respawn up on top of the building I was on before. It's a weird thing where it's like, I can't let you spawn here, so I'm going to put you in the last spawnable position.
It's also the same with handrails. If you're on a handrail and you get killed, you will never respawn on the handrail.
Alright. I decided I'm going to skip doing the barrel jump there because I was having a little bit of a trouble, or a little bit of an issue with it. Oh, is this... Alright, I ended up getting a 0 cycle there, which is
Nice.
not getting any spawns in from the left side. And that doesn't usually happen. I don't think I've ever gotten it with Batman. There's a way to do that room with Robin only, and I've gotten it a lot more often with him than I've done it with Batman.
This is the second to last vehicle level, and this one is all about boats. Vehicle levels are not that interesting.
Really, the only fast strat here is to do slingshots with the bombs, which you might have seen me do there. Where you go past the bomb, and while you're just still inside the reach of it, you use your tow cable to grab it, and it really makes the bomb move. So I kind of switched there to Robin to try to get him over here. He doesn't like to follow you. So here we're going to see that slingshot again.
And the bomb becomes really fast, really quick. Like the only speed tech you can do in this stage.
Ugh. And apparently that bomb didn't even hit the gate. And I got 4 more bombs to use unless they get hit by other people, which would not be ideal here.
This boss fight you have to hit the submarine on each side, so left, right, front, back. And like Robin and
Frogs,
and
penguins.
Frogs, they can all interact with the bomb, so frustrating boss fight to do.
This is really impressive if you can get all of the bombs first try. And as you can see, I definitely am not.
And you can get a third bomb while the cutscene is playing. There's a little bit of time. And here, Prince switched to Robin because he can shoot the torpedoes and the normal shots. Okay.
So here I'm doing a ladder skip. It ends up skipping Robin's magnetic suit. You'll notice that in a lot of these, or in a lot of cases, we're going to be skipping suits. And that's because it just takes so long to grab them.
This is our 12th hostage. We're almost in the middle. And also you can do a box jump here. Nice, you can slide up at the edge there and only jump onto the level 5 times. So the water rate is enough that Batman can walk and can put a bomb down, but you have to detonate the suit manually and not with the batarang. And if you would jump 6 times, the water would be lowered all the way down and also a cutscene will play.
Now I just have to wait for Robin to get over here, which takes forever.
A funny thing, Prince said early in this level that most of the time we're skipping suits, but this is the only occasion we're going back to get intended to be taken to the next room. We could progress this level, but we're going back to get the flight suit here. Us to next room really quickly.
I was really hoping I could get that.
Almost. With really precise extended glide, you can make it all the way over. And it skips this part.
There is a way to do this skip with the bomb suit, but it requires you traveling on, or like sliding on the side of a water tank, which is very difficult to do. It's also one of the oldest tricks in this game. So right there, I'm kind of playing with Croc. And right here, there's supposed to be a little cutscene that plays, but I kind of skipped that by pushing him away from this third object. And here you'll see, he throws it now, and I'll actually have the cutscene now. So this is what should have played before. Alright, so this first area has a pretty big skip. You're actually going to be skipping Batman's flight suit and Robin's magnetic suit by jumping on that bench, jumping up on top of the building and over the gate. And that saves roughly 40 seconds.
Next room, Prince will try to perform the turtle skip. That you get the tech suit for Robin and build a turtle that he can control to get inside the house with the hostage. Prince trying to skip this. The suit changer. Finish building. He walks into the hitbox and it pushes him out of bounds into the next area, into the house, so he can turtle stuff. Almost.
Oh. This is a pretty difficult jump to get.
But it feels really good if you get it.
There we go.
And this skip you can only try it once.
Now we need the bomb suit in order to get to the last area to fight Man-Bat. And for whatever reason, your spawn point can't be this boat. So if you die while on top of it, you get spawned back in the water, which for whatever reason has a spawn point.
X is 2-5 and the flight suit, and with extended flight it's the level, and we're also going to to free the hostage in this level. Jump onto the tree and get stuck a little bit and jump into the flight suit. Right to the handrails and perform another extended flight over to the. That we're already at the boss fight. And I think this is also the last level of the hero collected every hostage in the hero story. How this boss works is Penguin will drop his penguin bombs and wheel in the middle, so the we bounce off wheel in the middle onto the generators. Have to destroy the four to Catwoman, or after I think it's bombs, Catwoman come down. And after you destroyed all four, Penguin comes down. You can start attacking him, but after a couple hits, it flies away, and you have to hit him with the batarang to get him down back to the ground. And sometimes Catwoman will join the fight as well.
I hate that level.
Yeah. It's a quick level.
Hey, Mickey, you want to move your mouse? Apparently people were complaining of a mouse on the screen. So I spun around there a couple times because if you try pulling the lever right away, you just can't go through. You have to pull it a second time. So you either wait or you wait. So I decided to wait.
So the fifth chapter, you're playing in every level. You have Penguin, and Penguin's overall a great character because he has a ranged attack, he can shoot from his umbrella, he can put down, they walk, and he also is a flag character, so he can perform extended glide with him.
We are able to get this hostage, even though he's through the wall. You're supposed to use the sonic suit in order to get in there. Oh, come on. Sometimes you're lucky enough that you can drive away right there. Other times you're not so lucky. I got knocked out twice. Here we're doing a pretty big skip just by doing extended flights and jumping through that ceiling.
You can really see how broken extended flight is.
It's really not a difficult trick to do. Like Loss has been saying, you just tap the flight button or the jump button 3 times every 2 seconds. Like once every 2/3 of a second.
So once you get it down, it's just a rhythm. You can press in natural rhythm, so it feels comfortable.
And if you're bad with, like, oh, it's 3 times every 2 seconds, well, you can set a metronome for 90 beats per, or what would it be, 90? 90 BPM?
Yeah, it's 90 BPM. And most of the time you can also have a visual cue. For Batman is when he starts gliding, you release and start again. And where you don't have a real visual cue when to restart. And also here, Prince going onto the toxic waste on purpose. It's a couple of seconds of invincibility, and he starts building the radio antenna while he has his iframes. There's another Catwoman level.
For a second there, I couldn't remember where the hostage was. So also grabbing a couple studs here. Now there is a way to do this entire thing with, I think, just Penguin, but it's pretty difficult. Like this entire chapter, I think you can do with Penguin. It's just the end of this room is the most difficult part of that.
Also the same with this level, or this huge room with only Catwoman. Really hard, because at the end you have to do you have 2 levers and you have to pull them both for only one character, like we already saw it in the other Catwoman level, but in which Prince played with Batman, to pull 2 levers with one character. On this level as well, but it's extremely precise. Be the fastest way to complete this level.
Well, I jumped just too late.
Extended glide with penguin over the fence, and we don't deal with the mini boss. And Catwoman can do this double jump onto the fence, and we slide along the fence, and we can turn around at the end in control of Catwoman.
Now here I'm just waiting for Catwoman to get up, because sometimes she can get stuck, so if I just wait there and make sure the camera's on her, she'll be able to follow me up. Oh, I'm getting kitty RNG. It's attacking my microphone.
So that's the two-level with one character. It's possible, it's extremely hard.
Ugh, I almost had that first try.
Oh.
We're talking about.
This skips like a huge part of the room. That if you mash the glide button, you gain control. And how this level or this room works is death plane between the upper and the lower level, but you drop down to the head to have a little part without the death plane. And if you mash the quickly enough, you can start an extended glide really early, and you get to the other part. So straight to the end. I think it's over a minute. And you can redo it all the time until you land. If you land, you can't do it.
This is the first time I've done that strategy in all hostages, and I just saved over 31 seconds.
Yeah.
To my gold.
You can see it's a big time save. Lucky on the last vehicle though.
So while that toxic goo is going away, I can go hit that button. And what that does is it opens up the torpedo spot for me. And I can grab a couple of bombs. I only need 2 here for the next spot, so I'm not going to refill. I just need to wait for this toxic waste to go away because it has a huge hitbox. Same with this one.
It lasts very long, so you can sometimes think, yeah, it's gone, but the hitbox is still there.
So I'll try showing that off. Trying to go around there. Oh, and it's gone, apparently. Unless for whatever reason I had iframes. I'm gonna get rid of these police cruisers or jet skis, and then take my own jet ski and hit these buttons. Now, most people don't know this, but you can't hit these buttons if you have the target or the this red cursor on you. So if you're having problems hitting that button, don't go into the light to get that cursor on you.
Also, if you have bombs or torpedoes and you die, you lose all your torpedoes. You really want to avoid dying here. And depending where you die, you like a really big amount of time. Boss fight, you have to hit the front, the left and the right. You have to hit each side twice.
And if you're too close, it won't actually target them.
And after you've done that, the light spawns at the back and so the missiles start aiming at you. Both, and the missiles will change and start attacking their own boat. And that's the last week level.
We're almost done. Just got a few levels to go. And we do have all of episode 4 to go yet. And after that, it's free play. Here we're gonna do kind of a switch as soon as I pull the lever so that Croc gets over here, because I need him to use his super strength to lift the door for me. And as soon as you press the button to pull the lever or pull the door away, you can walk through it. And you can kind of see that in free play. If you're a strong character, you can push the button to lift it and switch or change characters, and the door will, or whatever you're moving, is gone. You don't need to watch the full animation for it.
You can jump across this gap with Killer Croc, but so it's really not worth going for it. And also in story, where you don't have fast build, it's not worth going for it. It's like it saves, if even 1 second. But it's a nice trick to show off. It looks really cool. There is the Croc you have to build. We recently found a way to skip it in free play, but sadly we're not able to skip it in story. So this would be a huge skip.
With 1P2C there, it kind of negates how much time you save with the out of bounds. But it is still a nice time save. I've never attempted it, so I don't even know how much time it will end up saving. So if I hit one person, there, they all kind of hide their faces and won't attack me.
You don't have to climb the ladder, you only have to be at a certain height to transition to the next zone, the next room. So normally the gate should open.
Okay. Apparently I didn't step on it.
Okay.
I thought I did.
You can activate this button with a bomb. You can activate it without the second player stepping on the button.
Which I just remembered when I stepped on the button, because that's also a skip I've never done before. This was This was when I was practicing LSW2 for LEGOthon.
Yeah, especially in William's story, we found a lot of skips lately. And we didn't collect the freed the hostage here.
This is actually the shortest chapter in this entire category, or shortest split, because the hostage is right at the beginning.
Like Prince mentioned earlier, this is the last level of villain chapter, so we don't have to complete it. We only have to free the chapter bit out. And this is the last chapter we have to complete, and after that we have to free play that we haven't freed yet. It starts off with a skip right away, you jump on the tires there, and you can double jump over the gate, so you don't have to mind control. And luckily you can drop in warp here and get Riddler to the other side.
No, there's a little bit of RNG with this, whether or not I can hit this kidnapper or not. Okay, good, I can. If I can't, I'd have to reload the room, because it'll reset the guy's location.
And also there's the really easy out of bounds here, you just walk into the corner and you clip out of bounds, and this allows you to jump over this gate. And next is a wall jump. Here you can't really see where Clayface is going, and you have to go into the transition. In my opinion, the hardest trick in Will.
I used to think it was difficult, and I practiced it for a very, very long time and ended up getting it to work quickly.
And here is Prince performed another. You can the 10 ways to build a ladder and a rope and get Riddler to the top. With Clayface, jump to the top, and if you stand in the right spot with Riddler, you can mind control the guy on the top while you're still down. And this is also the only chapter that doesn't have a vehicle though.
Apparently someone found a way to clip in here. I have no idea how to do it, so I'm not even going to attempt it.
Yeah, you have to build the ladder and right where it spawns, you have to have the right position, and sometimes it works without. An enemy just can walk through the wall and go right to the transition point. Sometimes you need a cop that pushes you out of bounds. Finicky, and sometimes you think you have it and it doesn't work. Jump onto the pole there to Mr. Freeze and jump onto the pipe and get to the other side, but it's also a really hard trick. You're supposed to get Riddler to this side and mind control. The guy starts turning the wheel and the ice cream gets higher. Then you can jump up with Mr. Freeze, but if you do like Prince did, just do this double jump to the hostage and you don't have to turn the wheel. And there's also a way to skip this part. It's also really hard. You have to walk off the ledge and at one of the last pixels turn around an invisible wall, and you can barely make it, and it skips pushing the block and going to
shoutouts to Waylon Wilt for doing that in the bingo race.
Yes.
I know it took him a
So
little
if you want
bit,
to
but he
see-
ended up doing it.
Yeah. Like the bingo race. Break. Also possible to jump across this ice cream. I've did it once and I've tried it for and I never got it. I practiced it for over 10 hours and I only got it once. But Gregor Bagel was frame rate, and apparently if you rate down to like 5 or 10 FPS, you can make this jump across the ice cream with no problem.
Yeah, apparently bringing this game down to 5-10 frames per second, it really messes with the physics.
Especially if you're on a handrail, the game freaks out completely and extremely, and if you press jump, you will be sent flying and land in a place where you're not supposed to be.
So here I'm going to do a little bit of an AI manipulation where Riddler is underneath, but for some reason he can still pull the lever. Also getting Riddler past that by jumping across rather than using Poison Ivy's Poison Kiss to build some flowers like this.
And again here, if you just take one enemy, the others get scared. And here you have to do a huge build. And you only ride this vehicle or this piranha plant for like 5 seconds.
I got confused on which one I needed to build there, and that's why I was using mind control instead of building.
Yeah, the button to start mind controlling and building is the same. Bombs, so sometimes it happens that you do another action instead of building.
Thanks, John Burton. And for whatever reason, this swan, we've named everything that starts with the letter B. So its name could be Bailey, Bartholomew, Becky, whatever you want it to be named as long as it starts with the letter B.
Not Burton.
Except for Burton. Here we need this machine. I don't think it's a lawnmower. It's more like a gator to get Riddler across here. And here we're just completely skipping using Riddler because we don't need to anymore. He's supposed to get over here and step on a button with Poison Ivy, but instead we use her jumping abilities to hit the transition. That button can be very finicky, especially with on that red platform with Riddler before I did the mind control, because now it'll go down as soon as possible, and while I'm still mind controlling, the enemies won't be attacking Riddler. So I can just sit here collecting studs even though I don't need them. I have over 150,000, by the way. You can see here after this, 229,000.
We won't bring this level because you need the sonic suit, I think.
Yes. I went for a weird clip where once you burn or build that turnstile, you'll clip into the ground and into the transition, which I've only ever gotten once. And luckily that was during a 100% run where I ended up collecting a mini kit while I was out of bounds. But yeah, we need the Sonic suit here in order to collect the hostage, so we'll come back to that in free play.
In this room, Prince will be performing a couple of jumps you're not supposed to do, like this one. We'll be also jumping from this platform to the other platform.
I don't know if I ended up getting that or not. Nope. You don't need to put the toxic waste up. It's only sometimes helpful. In this case, it wasn't.
And coming up is a really nice trick. You have to be player 1. You can mind control the guy, and for some reason you can just walk past the laser gates. If you're mind control, or if you're Riddler on player 1. Player 1 is Two-Face, it won't work. Do you get late skip?
I did get laser skip.
This trick, how it works, sometimes the laser won't spawn correctly. Walk right through the room. And yes, you can just walk through the door.
Yeah, apparently that door's not loaded in.
And even if you do the backup where you scoop vehicle, you can jump onto the laser pillar where the laser's coming out, jump over the laser gates and the door.
Oh, I moved him too far back. Very difficult to see there.
Yeah, Prince is controlling a guy in the cage. Can't really see where he's at, but you have to and Prince is also positioning Two-Face right at the end. Destroyed red wire electricity things. Two-Face, or he doesn't even have to switch because he has the second player dropped in and it ends the level immediately. Side effect of this is that the enemies start attacking not the robot. Now we're at the last level of this chapter. Only the villain chapter where you can't exit out early. The trick here, so if you place in this little spot between the cage and the wall and switch characters, it jumps up onto the... You don't have to destroy it. While this cutscene is playing, take it to the rope and start sliding a little bit early.
I tried, but Riddler got up there, and I have a theory that if Riddler gets up there, you can't jump early than you can when he's not there.
Yeah, and you need Two-Face up here only because there's a lock, and you have to shoot it. You can't an object for the ladder to drop down, and that's the only reason why you need Two-Face up here.
That was a really good spawn location for the helicopter.
Yeah. Like Joker, Two-Face's attack is also one of the better ones, in my opinion, because he has a ranged attack and he makes quick deal of the enemies. The same here, you don't have to turn the wheels all the way, only so much that you can walk past.
Here's a thought for you. How strong is Two-Face? If he's moving let's say 1.5 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter solid block of gold, how heavy is that?
Funny enough, it's not a strength character.
He isn't even a strength character, no. Which, yeah, surprising.
And the toxic waste, the hitbox starts really late. You can... the toxic waste. It's getting... You're supposed to get up here with Two-Face because you can walk through the toxic waste. It's climbing the ladder with Riddler. Also, you can squeeze right past the poisonous gas here if you hug the wall. Again, using one player to control us here to build two things at once.
Now, this is the last chapter of this episode, and since it's a villain one, if we got the hostage early, we could have quit out of it. But since we can't get the hostage in story mode, we have to play through it.
You build Soul Robot only using this gauge and getting inside. And we've completed play, so we're going back to a couple of levels. The levels we didn't free the hostage. Replay.
So now we're going into 4-3 and then 4-4 and then 4-5. So we'll finish out episode 4. Now for free play, I like choosing Poison Ivy because for me, she's the best fighter overall. As far as melee goes, she's got a double jump, she doesn't do backflips, and she can walk on toxic waste. So here we just need to go up into this bonus area, use a bomb, and free this hostage. Again, choosing Poison Ivy for the reasons I already listed. Although theoretically this one would be faster if I chose Batman.
We're always getting Batman and Robin and all the suits that they have collected earlier.
This is one of the rare occasions in this category in which we'll be using the freeze fly technique.
How freeze fly works is if you freeze the other player, which has a glide suit with Mr. Freeze, obviously, and give him the electrocuting hand pass, you can just mash the jump button and you start flying up into the air. Yeah, you can skip a lot of stuff with this. And you also see that on the left side, the room is already loaded, so you can fly over the collision directly into the other room. You can only do this in free play, obviously. And chapter 4 is now completed. In the 5th chapter, we're only going to free the 5-4. All the others here already freed. And sadly, we don't have a way to skip this room, even in free play, with freeze fly and everything. This level has like collision almost everywhere and kill planes. And that's what Prince mentioned earlier. If you lift something with a switch characters, the object you lifted or pushing, or the object you lifted will be gone immediately.
Right. 2 more hostages again, that's in 6-3 and 6-4. So the hostages up here. Need to go through with the heat suit. That's where we actually needed it. The one and only time we need it.
And the last hostage before we have to buy Hush.
So for the timer, time is when I buy Hush.
And also, you can just walk into this television and switch characters, and you get warped up.
Just gonna check how many studs I have. Okay. Even if I buy the wrong character, I can still buy the correct one. It has happened before. And time. Well, thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you. Get the clown goon. Just for you.
I believe we have a bonus run up next.
That's true.
We are going to be seeing all bonus levels, which in this game is the 2 bonus levels, Arkham Asylum and Wing Manor. So we'll be seeing that in a second. I believe that we'll have to have a layout for that.
Yes, I just need to switch files.
Please. To get access to the bonus levels, I think you have to collect all mini kits.
No, you have to get superhero and supervillain in every level. Which I think is kind of weird, but oh well. Alright, so for this I need, or to set up my file, I need Penguin and, where is he? Give me Penguin. Penguin and Poison Ivy. And I want Poison Ivy as first player, so just like that. Not quitting, and I'm gonna start with Arkham Asylum.